What's up, everybody? Welcome to another wonderful Monday night of Chewin the BBQ Fat. Man, it feels like it has been forever since I've been here. So glad to be back. Lots been going on in our world. Lots been going on in the barbecue world. Lots happening. Just great things going on. If you don't mind, like the page, share the page, get it out there. Join us on YouTube. Hopefully Facebook is working tonight. I know it's been going down a little bit here and there, so hopefully you'll be able to watch us tonight. Anyway, what's been going on with everybody? I tell you what, we have been rocking and rolling with barbecue and baseball. Wes Garrett's on. What's up, Jason? How you doing? I know Wes is getting ready for the big Jack this weekend. I can't wait to hear about how the Jack goes. Jason had his big, I think they had a big contest last weekend. Good job. But I hope everybody's having a good time with barbecue and getting ready to finish the season strong. We've only got 3 more weeks, I think, 3 or 4 more weeks left in the season, and there's still time to go after those points. So, guys, go chase them. It's going to be awesome. But anyway, trying to think of anything in our world other than baseball. Nothing's been going on. So. What I want to do tonight, I've told y'all before, I want to bring on as many promoters as I can to push their contest. And there is a contest coming up here at the end of the month, a double, and we want you to get in there and get onto it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Noel Kay. Hey, buddy, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. How are you tonight?
Very good, very good. Noel, you got a contest coming up in the next couple of weeks, correct?
October 30th and 31st in Shelby, North Carolina. It's the double event. It's the last double or the last contest in the Team of the Year series for the KCBS championship. And we're really excited. We're hoping to get 50 to 75 teams. The Rufus Teach series is into their point series there as well. So we're really looking forward to it. The Barbecue League is our presenting sponsor. So they're going to be there and doing their thing. So we're looking for a great time, and we've still got room for some more teams. They can go to bbqshelby.com and sign up. Everything's online. You don't need to mail anything. Whatever you need to do to get there, we can do it. We got plenty of parking, and it's just going to be a good event. Shelby had a barbecue contest for 25 years at the same venue, and it was always a great contest. I think somebody told me one year they had 92 teams there. So
Wow.
Certainly enough room there, and the community is really behind it. So we're excited.
That's awesome. So is there anything special going on? Because I know it is Halloween weekend, correct? Is there anything y'all got planned?
Well, there's one person in particular that I won't put him on the spot, but he's having a going away party. So he's got a Mexican food being catered in, the 5-piece mariachi band, and a DJ. So we're gonna see how that works. He's putting that on for us, but that's still in the works. We're thinking that's gonna be a real big deal there. So it's gonna be extravagant for sure.
Everything you do is extravagant. I love that about you, man.
We're trying, man. We're trying.
So how was last time we talked? I think you had just retired from the fire department, or not too long ago. How's everything going in your world?
Well, we've tried to cook some barbecue. We've struggled a little bit this year, but it's been all right. We've had a good year. I don't know how it ever worked. I stay too busy to work. I don't know. I can't figure it all out. It's awesome. I thought I'd have more free time, but I don't. I go to my barbecue trailer about 2 or 3 days a week. And I thought I'd spend more time up there, but that's all right.
That's crazy. Awesome. Jason said Galax has some more, and the South Carolina Shootout has some openings also. So looks like, man, you're the last one, right? That you in this area, you're about it you're the end of the year, right? Like it is.
Yeah. So I think the one good thing about our contest is that we're going to have over that 35 team mark. So for the guys that are chasing the points, they can come to our event and they can match their points out. I don't know I think there's only a couple more contests in the KCBS that are sanctioned for that weekend. I don't know what their team numbers are, but I know that right now at our event, you're going to max your points out if you win. You're going to have that 35 And so, if you're in the top 10, in my opinion, you want to come there and max your points out, try to win. And we're really central located. I mean, being where we're at, up and down the East Coast. So I think we're in a good spot. It's a good weekend. You can come in, set up one time, travel once, cook one, or set up once and cook twice, and max your points out for both of them. So it's a good deal. We've got a pretty good prize purse. We're still working on fine details about that, but we hope to have that published on our website this week. And 75 teams. At 75 teams, I think, don't hold me to it, I think we're around $9,000 a day on the prize purse.
A day.
So that's an $18,000 prize purse for the weekend, and but that's at 75 teams. So if we got to get to that point, but that's a pretty good prize purse, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's nothing to shake your tail. That's a good one to go for. What's up, Dennis? How you doing? Mark Porter, Bruce. Glad to see all y'all on tonight. Hope you're doing well. Well, that's awesome. So barbecueshelby.com, www.barbecueshelby.com is where
barbecueshelby.com. That's right.
The application's there, everything's there, and that's the way we can get on there.
That's right? It. Yeah.
Awesome.
Easy.
Easy peasy. Well, Noel, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you have just an outstanding event and you get your 75 or maybe even 100. Who knows?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Anybody else have any questions for Noel while we got him on? And then we'll get on to our regular scheduled program or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, well, Noel, thank you so much. How can people get in touch with you if they do want, if they, other than the website, if they have any questions for you?
You can give me a call. I think my number's on the website. It's 828. You can give me a call, email, whatever you need to do there. Real responsive to emails. Probably a little too responsive. That's all I do is check my phone. So anything you need there.
I love it. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right.
And we will see you soon, buddy.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Awesome. That's one thing that's so cool that we're able to do here on the show is get out and push contests. We want to push as many contests as we possibly can. And I want to get our viewers up to as many as we can. I think I do believe Facebook has changed up some of their algorithms and everything else. So if y'all can share this as much as possible, if you will like it and share at the same time, do what we can. Let's see if we can't get this out there to as many people to get this going, because I do want barbecue to grow. I want barbecue to be the best possible it can be. And I think it is. I was looking at a thing in the GBC, the Georgia Barbecue Championships going on. And it looks like for a lot of the contests we've got going on here, I feel like we're becoming Alabama where we've got more backyards than we do pros. I think we got to get our pros back up. We can't be having our backyards outdo our pros. We got to make sure we got to stay strong. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I had Greg from RecTeq coming on today. We were going to talk a lot about RecTeq and what they have going on, but he had a thunderstorm come through and they lost power. So we are working to have them come on. But all this did was enable me to get my next guest that's coming on. We moved him up a couple weeks. And I'm very excited about this show. I'm very excited about what's going on. Paul Holden is a friend of mine. Enjoy cooking with him. He's a local Georgia guy, but he represents a name that has been in barbecue for a long time. And what I love about what Paul is doing, he's taken that name, he's put his own thing on it, his own spin on it, his own cooking, he's making it himself. And he is the guy that's out there winning. I tell you what, last week, 2 weeks ago, a couple times ago, 180 in brisket. He's really pushing it. He's really doing awesome. Not only has he got his own rubs out there, but he's also got a smoker out there. I believe he's going to get into it, but I believe it was the original reverse flow smoker. So what's up, Bill Purvis? How you doing, buddy? Can't wait to see you soon. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead. Hey, there's Carrie. What's up, Carrie? I'm going to go ahead and bring Paul on. Paul, what's going on, my man?
Hey, everybody.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Like a little last minute jumping on the show, but happy to be here.
I tell you what, we're just trying to prep you for the big time tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow
coming on here with us, little measly low budget guys. But tomorrow you're going to be on the show. with some big name people. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about yourself, what you got yourself into, and where you're headed.
Oh man, I always get myself into a lot, so I don't think we have that much time tonight. But yeah, so just a little bit about myself. Got into barbecue back in '91. My first barbecue competition and first barbecue cook was Memphis in May 1991. Was cooking with our corporate team. That's Memphis in May. If any of y'all been there, it tends out to be a big corporate show, plus a lot of the celebrity cooks and that. But '91, it was still pretty much a barbecue competition. So that I got bit, right. That's where it all started, and met and actually that's how what we'll get into a little bit here is John Willingham, one of the legendary barbecue greats out there. Memphis guy, restaurants, competition circuit, one of the original Hall of Fame inductees. Became really, really good friends with him and mentored under him, right, for years and years and years. Took over the team for him as the head pitmaster. I think 2010, he and his son-in-law and I. We also competed with I would almost consider a spin-off team, the Village Porkers, for all you Georgia folks here, right? Us as the Village Porkers. But that really was a spinoff from, original Willingham's for the years. So, day job is I'm a technology guy for a global insurance carrier. So I get to play with insurance and technology a little bit on the side, but really barbecue's where it's at.
Man, nothing more exciting than insurance and technology.
Yeah, there's nothing more exciting than that.
It's not like me. My job, I make boxes, right?
Hey.
Awesome. Well, we get to do this barbecue stuff on the side. We love it, right? So tell me a little bit about what you've got going on right now. What is Willingham's, and we'll get into John later, but let's talk about what Willingham's is today.
Yeah.
What do we got going on?
Yeah. So, really, so we took over the company it'll be 2 years in June next year. So 2020, we ran it a little bit after John passed away, helped the family out. And then eventually they decided they didn't want to run it. 3 daughters, Mrs. Willingham's 87 years old. So they just said, hey, this is enough. And they knew, my passion and Lori's passion with the whole Willingham brand and really the roots back to Memphis. So growing the business, we've got, really trying to reintroduce it to the next generation of cooks out there. We've had a long legacy of people who still buy it, selling probably 500,000-600,000 pounds of product a year. So it's not small, not huge. So it's respectful. And, a lot of folks don't know us, right? There's a lot of new crowd out there that's been cooking only for the last 10 years. And John's been gone for 10 years, and we really haven't been out putting the name on the circuit. So, I'm trying to blend this classical style of cooks. I'm a low and slow cook, right? And we can talk a little bit about what I changed up for that brisket a couple of weeks ago, but I'm up in my temperatures a little bit and getting strong, but I want to stick with, some of my techniques and the Willingham techniques are crazy ass cookers. I know they're crazy, but got that vertical cooking and rotisserie going on.
If you have not seen one of these cookers, you need to stop by Willingham's whenever he's cooking. Are you gonna be at Lions this weekend?
Unfortunately not. Doing a church cook in Memphis this weekend. So
awesome. Even better. Yeah. It is so cool to see. It is such a conversation piece, but it's also a great cooker, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, don't mean to still.
No, they're so a lot of things that you talk about when we've been out at the contest, it's getting people engaged. So got a different cooker. People are going to come up and chat, and then we can start talking about barbecue. We can start talking about family and friends and really the community that brings around it. And if, a lot of it starts with, that is a weird cooker. What is that thing? Popcorn maker? So every time we've run into Johnny Trigg over the last 30 years, right, he man, you got one of them Willingham popcorn makers, right? And don't know about that. It makes pretty good ribs. But it is crazy, but it starts the conversation and allows us to engage with, the public, with other competitors, and really start to, not only tell about our story, but also just a different cooking style altogether.
So what is a little bit about that style of cooking?
Yeah. So it actually, well, I mean, low and slow, obviously. But so we're vertical cooking, and we rotate, so the meat is constantly moving through the heat. So I get an even distribution of heat. I don't really worry about a hot spot here or there or anywhere. It just constantly goes. I am running on pellets, but so I think the first pellet cooker that we introduced was back in '97, and but if I really wanted to run lump or stick on that same exact cooker, I've got a door attachment, put it in, and the same process works, same convection. So it's just a big convection oven at the end of the day. And I guess our real claim to fame is offset indirect cooking was based upon the patent we were awarded back in 1986 on offset indirect cooking on the original design of that cooker. So it's sort of fun to talk about. I mean, nothing more from just a novelty, nothing ever pursued out of it, but hey, you can check that box.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you're still cooking on them today.
I am still actually, the two that I carry around, one was built in 1996 and the other one was built in 2006. So still haul them around, still use them. And a lot of fun. So
you also have rubs that you were talking about, that you also sell rubs this weekend. I'm sorry. Carrie Chastain said Atlanta Barbecue Store needs to be in Lyons, Georgia this weekend.
Yes.
I'm reading that, and Atlanta Barbecue Store will be in Lyons, Georgia this weekend. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Sorry. So,
hey Chad, I like that hashtag popcorn. I'm going to put that on our, start doing that.
There you go. So what kind of rubs do you have? So
our core seasoning, we've got an original mild seasoning. This was actually the one that was created back in 1981, and one we used for the Memphis MA Grand Championships, the American Royals. It's our go-to rub and seasoning for ribs, pork, brisket, chicken. I love it on chicken. Got a Cajun version, a little hotter. We've got what we call for big kids only, which I probably shouldn't package it in the bottles we do because it's huge and you only want to use a smidgen. But we'll talk, I'll have to figure that one out later. And then a series of sauces that go with it. But really the Willingham brand's been known for those the original mild seasoning from the beginning of time. And that was, back in the day, the go-to on the circuit. That was what everybody was using. And it's a very unique flavor profile, very strong citrusy blends, Worcestershire molasses. So it's a kick, but that all just blends out really nicely. And, my goal, so that's more classical cooking. My goal is how do I blend that into the contemporary, seasoning?
That's my question that I have for you. We've had this. This is not a conversation that we haven't had before.
Yeah, that's right.
Paul and I talk all the time. We hang out, the contest, whatever. It's great. But the question that we've had is how much has barbecue changed? As you said, this would be the classical barbecue. This is what was going on in the 80s and the 90s. Mm-hmm. How much difference do you see today in what the rubs that y'all have versus some of the newer rubs that are out today?
Yeah, and this is certainly I'm not a.
First of all, how much MSG is in y'all's?
There's on the original. There's a small bit in there. It's not one of our top 5 ingredients, but it's been in there since the beginning.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, I produce for a nephew of John Willingham's a non-MSG version of it, and it's pretty much the same, but MSG it works, right? And I don't know if you've watched some of the other podcasts lately. If the guys winning at the Royal and all that, they're even dusting their stuff with a little MSG before it goes in. So it certainly is not a secret, but it's gotten bad rap. It's obviously gotten a bad rap out there, as well as some of the other.
It's really funny we say that because I've been fortunate enough, and Kerry Chastain's been on here. We've been fortunate enough to go and Matt Goodman. We've been an academy teacher at RecTeq Academy, and the RecTeq Academy, which is what we were going to discuss about tonight anyway. You have a lot of guys at home cooking that want to get better, right?
Yeah.
And every one was like, I don't want anything with MSG in it. I don't want anything with phosphate. I'm like, man, well, you really do. You just don't know it yet.
Oh, yeah.
Like this MSG has this terrible name, and I don't know why we're even talking about this, but it's something that's in pretty much all the rubs today.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at all the rubs that we have, and then all the people that sell rubs in the competition world, MSG's in it.
Yeah, and if it's not, the competition cooks are going to add it.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? Going from, I know you say you have a little bit in yours from the original.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think changed over time? Is it more, we need more pop in there, or what do you think the difference is?
Yeah, so well, we have a good bit of brown sugar content and dried molasses in the seasoning. It's, I think, coloration, right? So we're a little bit more lighter colored seasoning. So we're allowing really the meat to show, not the seasoning to show. It's a super fine grain. So I think it doesn't give that instant color that we're looking for on the competition circuit. So, it's, you got to sort of play around, right? I mean, if I look at some of the ingredients of the competitor brands out there and some of the ones that are popular on the circuit, a lot of the base ingredients are very similar to ours, right? Maybe different quantities and add the paprika and the red coloring, right? But for the most part, some of the core seasoning and core spices are still the same. Ours are a little bit stronger, right? It'll knock you down when you first smell it. Yeah, Chad, I want you more after the first bite.
But only the initial bite. I like that. I like how we said that. It's only after that you're like, "Ooh, enough's enough," right?
Yeah.
Well, that's all we're looking for. Unfortunately, when we're cooking competition barbecue, we're looking for that one bite. We're not looking for eating a rack of ribs.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that when I talk about what are we doing differently than I was trained all those years, Mike and John probably would strike me down, probably not. But we were taught never to inject and never sauce, right? It's not a sauce competition, never inject. We never did, right? And all those years of winning, but then about 2012, 2011, that all started to rapidly change, right? And I've been struggling with how do I find a injection blend that complements our seasoning. So I'm pretty stubborn if y'all haven't figured that out. I do want to stick to some level of our products, right? I feel, look, hey, we own the business and we're trying to grow the brand, but also sort of honoring the tradition, right? So trying to find that middle ground without, violating some core principles somewhere. And injections have kicked my butt to this point. Changed up the injections a couple of weeks ago, and so far so good on brisket.
I would say that's, and I don't mean to, I'm going to talk about how good barbecue is today.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'll say. Barbecue today is probably the best barbecue's ever been, right? Like the competition today is the best it's ever been. You look at what's going on with some of these guys, and there's no comparison, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no comparison what's going on today and what's going on back in the day. Even when you're talking about 10, 11 years ago, that's back when I started barbecue. There is a night and day difference from then till now. And I can only imagine the changes and everything else. But I feel like, man, if you're not if you're not looking at what other people are doing, you look at, let's see, I don't know if I'll talk about it, but let's talk about Brad, right? Like Brad and Joe and all these guys, they're out there, they're working it. right?
Yeah.
Like I remember Rooters and Tutors, Paul with Rooters and Tutors last year talking about his brisket. He was the team of the year in brisket. And he's been on the show saying he cooked about 6 different recipes from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. He didn't cook the same thing. He was chasing it. He was keeping up with it. And that's winning, right? Like that's what's winning, is being able to keep up with things. And, talking to some of the people in the past, is like, man, it was, you did the same thing, right? Like you do this, you don't waver. And I don't think you had to, right? Like nowadays, man, it is tough.
You got to adapt, right? And,
right.
and continue to learn. So I think that's, if I go off the things that I learned over the years, it seems a lot longer than it feels, but being adapt and learning and pushing the envelope, right? I mean, I got a little heat from it from some of the old timers from the Willingham team. At Memphis in May this past year, I still had the Willingham cookers there, but I moved out of the shoulder division. We've won ribs there twice. We've run whole hog, but we've never gotten shoulder. And I'm like, I'm in, right? And when I started looking at cooking 10 whole shoulders, I'm like, I can't do it. And I'm trying to match some flavor profiles that, you got Heath and Sweet Swine O' Mine and Mark and all those guys. And I'm like, I gotta do something a little bit different. So I borrowed thanks to Randall, I borrowed a Deep South and rolled with it, and we took 16th. I was happy. That was for my first try at shoulder at Memphis in May. Willingham's has done it in the past, but I was happy with that result. I mean, we're in the hunt.
Yeah, I mean, and you talk about the names that were in there around that 16 spot that you're in. You're in there with some big hitters, right? I mean, that was a great job.
And we're pretty good friends with Mark Lambert, and the Willingham son-in-law and daughter were in his wedding, so they like to rib him about. We actually beat him at Memphis in May this year, and he's always like, "Hey, if you ever need anything, just let us know." So we got him this year, so we felt good about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, so Willingham's is the brand that you're out there pushing. You've got the smokers, which y'all do, but you don't necessarily sell them, correct?
Not currently. The last one I built was in 2016. Shipped it up to a friend of ours in Idaho, actually, and we've got a pretty good waiting list at this point. I'm just trying to nail down we got a manufacturer here in actually Powder Springs, Georgia, that's willing to do them for us.
Nice.
But the stainless steel, right? That takes an art, because it's all grained, steel. You want to make sure you get all those grains lined up and perfected, and you got to find good quality craftsmanship on that. And so we've been really good friends with Shaw Stainless Steel here in Powder Springs the last probably 4 or 5 years. If I need a cooker tweaked, they'll tweak it, and I just end up cooking for them once a year for a little bartering system going on. But they're willing to knock them out. So I think we will, probably take them back out to market in 2022.
Nice.
Do I expect them to be a big novelty, big item across the circuit? Probably not. More of a backyard.
I say it all the time. If you go to a festival and you have one of those, you are going to have more people coming up to your booth or to your whatever, just because how unique they are.
Yeah,
and it's amazing. Like,
I
think it's cool. I think it's one of those things that if you take that to a market, to the whatever markets, festivals, whatever you call it, you will knock it out of the park.
Yeah, we're really where we tend to amaze people. Capacity. So that thing's not very big.
No, not at all.
So I can do 42 slabs of ribs in it at one time. Takes the same 4 hours or for 4 or 4 hours for 42, it doesn't matter. Or 64 half chickens, or more amazingly, 105-pound whole hog. She'll sit in there and just spin around. Now we have the original one. I'd love to get this thing mounted on a trailer again from the built in 1986, the competition cooker. 5 Memphis and May size whole hogs at one time. and they're all hanging and rotating. I had that thing completely refurbished by Deep South, and it's a chance. Actually, I did a cook on it this past week and posted on Facebook. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
Speaking of Facebook, where can people find you on Facebook?
So Willingham. So it's Willingham Sauces. We have a Willingham's Barbecue, which is a franchise restaurant out in California. So you'll find 2 Willingham Facebook pages out there, but Willingham Sauces is ours.
Okay. I'll make sure you look that up.
Yeah.
Dennis asked, so is the key the ratio of rub to injection or the actual rub and injection? I would say the actual rub and injection, personally.
I think yeah.
I am struggling 100% right now in chicken with injection. I think my rub is fine. I think my sauce is fine. I think my injection is terrible. So I am to the point to where I have to start messing with my injection to get flavor into the meat. I've had a lot of people try the chicken and be like, oh, the sauce tastes great. The rub is good, but the meat has no flavor.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore,
I was getting that a lot.
Yeah.
Meat, no flavor. I'm like, tastes like beef.
You're right.
So, to answer that question, so is it a ratio? And so I'll tell you what I did in Calhoun, and I just struggling and talking, and I took Lee Hickles' class from Barbecue Champs, right? Because one, I think Lee's a pretty humble guy, and I'm like, all right, if I'm going to spend some money to learn, I did that. Took his injection, and I applied Willingham seasoning and sauces afterwards, right? So his side, my side, and I think it was the blend, right? I think did I need to use 24 ounces of injection in both the wrap and the brisket? Probably not. I could have probably altered that a little bit, but the flavor profile married up really, really nice with our seasoning, and then amazingly, it still kills me. I think Matt Goodman's on sauce in a brisket just kills me every time.
Well, I was going to say that you mentioned earlier about they wouldn't let you sauce anything. Now we're saucing briskets.
I know.
What's going on here?
Well, I did it, and it worked.
And I'll do it again.
I'm going to do it. You're right. I'll do it again. But it's just finding that right combination. And I think I've heard the comments. You want to be sort of in the middle. You don't want to be offensive. Or you know what? I think you got to be different, right? I think a lot of and talking to different judges out there, it's still a smoked meat contest, right? And so they still want to get that smoke flavor and those deep profiles across the board. And I think our seasoning allows it to shine through, right? Still allows that meat flavor to shine through, but that extra level of moisture, you just got to get it by goosing it with the injections.
So a lot of people say that, and I am curious in the next set of classes that we take or that we hear from or whatever, are people still looking for that middle of the road good barbecue? Or are we looking for now the man that was good?
One bite contest.
And I just feel like there's a change. I feel like 2 years ago, it was cooked down the middle of barbecue, just straight down the middle. Make it be good. I tell you, the only thing I can cook is pork, right? Like that's the only thing I know how to cook apparently. And my pork is not. I would not describe my pork as just down the middle barbecue. I think it has a little bit of pop to it, and I think that's one reason it has been successful.
Apparently you did really good at the Royal.
And I do believe you're seeing changes in that. Like, I mean, if anybody's a member of the National Barbecue League, so a lot of people are becoming, and a lot of people are turning in the same amount of food, right? Or the same type of food, you're starting to see the same thing over and over again, right? And it's, what are you doing to differentiate yourself from somebody else? It's like, what can we do? What can you do to not be too offensive and not go too far?
Yeah,
just enough to make it be something that's going to be.
Yeah,
stand out.
I agree, and I'm, I guess I'm sort of hopeful on by reintroducing our brands back more consistently in the competition circuit. We got a lot of restaurant customers that been using it for years. It's their secret sauce, and that's great, or secret recipe. But I think we just got a little bit different of a kick and a different flavor profile. But if I can marry it with the tenderness that the injections bring, that to me, that I agree. I don't think it's middle of the road barbecue, right? I think it's that, man, if you don't nail it on that first bite, forget it. Just forget it. I mean, heck, in Calhoun, right? That was a tough little table we were on.
Right.
So first and second place in brisket were on the same table.
Wow. That's crazy. I think that's what it takes. The food still has to be really good. And it still can't be overly offensive, but I think it just has to be out there, right? Like, it's in your face.
I mean, Stew Babies, they were close.
I'll tell you what, Chad Stewart's, I mean, they're doing awesome. They are fun people to be around, and they're doing good, killing it.
Yeah, I felt good to beat him in brisket. That was a good day.
If you can beat Chad Stewart in brisket, or Kerry Chastain in brisket, you're doing something, right? Like that's a heck of a day.
We need to do it. We need to do it twice.
That's right.
Once is a fluke. Twice, I might feel better about that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like that's what makes it. That's what makes it fun, is trying to figure out how to beat these guys.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
But anyway, so Willingham, I know we've talked about trying to get it on the store and stuff like that, but where can people
We can hook you up with that.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Let's get it in the store. We call Ellen.
We heard that.
Ellen is the one. Everybody knows that. Ellen is the person. But where can somebody find it? I mean, I know that you have a website. Yeah,
website. We are in. So if you go outside of the Atlanta region, right, all Kroger's, Piggly Wiggly in the Memphis Mid-South region, we're in Barbecue Pro Shop. Some of your competitors, I'll just leave it off from there. And in the Kansas City, Illinois, and some of the we do tend to find ourselves do really well in the specialty shops, specialty barbecue shops, or fireplace stores, pool stores, things like that tend to like to have a unique product. So you can find us there. But I would say for the Atlanta region, until you solve that problem,
in the next week or so,
we're on the just our website directly.
Okay, probably the best place to go is to their website.
Yeah. It's that's where the full products are out there, and we launched.
And if somebody is looking, right, because you have a wide range of products, and I'm probably wrong, and that's whatever. Not all of your products are competition driven. You have a lot of what I like to call home style.
Yeah,
really good on seafood and really good on other items.
Yeah, so even if you would go back in history, John's original concept with the original seasoning before he decided to open a restaurant, decided to get into the competition circuit, was to create a seasoning that would replace all that nonsense that's on your shelf, right? And so you just need this one bottle, and that's where the original actually came from. But then it turned out to be a pretty big hit on the competition circuit. We obviously have the sauces, some marinades that aren't marinades you soak in, but marinades you take a tablespoon here or there. They're highly concentrated. And then actually very proud of it. John and I started back in 2010 on a new seasoning together. He was tinkering with it. I was helping him tinker it with it. And after he passed, and then we bought the business and found the recipe, the formula in his notebooks. And we launched it in January. Problem back in 2010, we couldn't figure out what protein to put it on. And we were actually at Pigs and Peaches with the son-in-law had come into town, and I had gotten a sea bass, had the seasoning, put it on there. And like, this is a seafood fish seasoning. And if you like Old Bay and that stuff, try our Lost at Sea, and you'll never use Old Bay again. It's sweet, savory, got a little bit of a kick to it. So yeah, we do have things that will fill your cabinet other than just the barbecue circuit or the smoker, right? And that one it's a little scary stepping out with a new seasoning on a legacy brand like that. Going, well, all right, John's gone. Is this real? Is this for real? And it's been good, right? We've been very pleased with the results of that.
But so to me, and no disrespect, man, I don't know John.
Yeah,
right? I didn't know John. Didn't know Willingham's as John Willingham's. I know Paul, and Paul is.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
To me, you are the Willinghams now.
We are.
You are it. Y'all are it. And what you're doing now, you make it your own. It's kind of like me with the Atlanta barbecue store, right?
Sure.
I mean, I took it over from somebody else, and it's like, man, what am I doing to make this my own?
Yeah.
Right? And hopefully we haven't just completely destroyed it. But what do you feel like you are doing to make Willingham's yours and Lori's own?
Yeah, I think the big thing is bringing it to a contemporary, audience and introducing good barbecue cooking with good solid seasonings, and sharing that passion, right? And
right.
Yeah, do you want to be king of your backyard? Not a problem, right? And you don't have to be intimidated by the things that we do on the professional circuit. And again, I've been around it for 20 plus years, and it's intimidating. Every day you see the different people out there. It's like, well, what am I doing differently? So I think the big thing we're trying to do is make it more personal, right? And reintroduce the core aspects of cooking, and with solid seasonings, right? You can't go wrong with them.
That's good. Tom wants to know, what is the secret in hot stuff that makes it for big kids only?
Take a whiff. It's pretty rough. It's only like 5 ingredients in there, but wherever you would use cayenne, substitute the hot stuff, you get 3 extra flavor profiles to it, and it's but it's for big kids only. It is definitely a very, very hot seasoning. I've had friends inadvertently I give a gift pack to, and they like the original, but they like the Cajun, which is a little hotter, and then they go, wow, hot stuff, I really like hot stuff, and they don't read the bottle, which says cut with your favorite seasoning, and they go full bore with it and like lights them up. So I probably need to consider smaller bottles for that. But no, it's really good. It's just cayenne's got a good flavor to it, but the hot stuff for big kids only, it just adds 2 more extra little flavor profiles to it that surprise you, and you can tell. You put it in chili, put it in. Honestly, so somebody asked, who was it, Chad, or somebody asked for Tom. Paul should say our secret. So my brisket, I dusted with Big Kids.
Really?
Yep. So my finishing on top of my brisket before I threw it in the cooker was a 1 pass dust on both sides of Big Kids.
So it had a kick to it.
It had just a little bit of, hey, I'm here. Cooked, a lot of it cooked out during the process, but still had a little bit of,
Look at it.
So that was my secret.
There you go, Tom.
There you go.
I wasn't trying to push tonight. I'm very mild tonight. I'm just trying to get back into it. I feel like I haven't done the barbecue show in forever.
Well, you've been out kicking butt out of the Royal and having a good time.
Oh man, that was a blast. The American Royal was a blast. Had a great time. And speaking of big contests, we got a big one this weekend coming up. We got the Jack's coming this weekend. A lot of people are going to the Jack.
We got kicked out of there one year.
What happened?
We pre-prepped our pig.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so anyway.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, John did that.
Hey, yeah, it was fine.
Oh, too funny. Oh man.
He was still the head. He was still the boss at that point in time. So yeah, it's his fault.
That's right. So if everybody knows Paul, y'all all heard me talk about Paul doing our website for the Atlanta Barbecue Store Classic. This is the Paul that we talk about. Paul is helping us big time with our contest coming up. A lot of things going on there. Something apparently happened. We were off the KCBS website today. I got a call into KCBS. They were calling me back. So I have a feeling something is going on with Gadsden, but we will see what's happening with that. So
little complaint there. I hope not. But.
I don't know. It's all good. We're going to be working on to get it. We're going to be working to get it fixed, and hopefully we will still be on the website soon. And our website will be up soon.
Yeah, soon. Unfortunately, our web developer's out with COVID, so hopefully he'll be back on the horse here by the end of the week. Good news is, though, one of the things we're trying to do is mobile-friendly applications and payments. So for all of us that are tied to our phones on the competition circuit or elsewhere, we want to try to make this a really easy way to get your app in.
That's one thing we discussed. We're like, look, we want this to be something that is easy. We want it to make it to where you can use your phone, use the computer, whatever, make it a good, easy experience to where you can get in, sign up, and get out, right, and be done with it. So that's one reason why it's taking us a little bit longer, but it's coming. It's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Well, good. Well, Paul, is there anything else you've got tonight?
No, I appreciate the last minute invite. It's always good to chat and trying to share the history and share where we're headed. And
awesome.
Got another 40 years in front of us to figure this out, I guess, right?
That's right. It's going to be fun. It's a blast doing it. So anyway, real quick, tell everybody where they can find you on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever.
Yeah, all that nonsense. So Willinghams.com. The Facebook is Willingham Sauces, at Willingham Sauces, and the Instagram is Willinghams_BBQ. And that's all the social media I have tolerance for. And that's hard enough to keep up with. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. You enjoy your cook at the church this weekend. That's awesome. Keep doing wonderful things for people. And guys, we will be at Lyons, Georgia. Come by, say hello to us, and we'll see you soon. And hope you have a great week. Maybe he should, Tom. Speaking of classes coming up, we're getting a lot closer. The weekend that we talked about for the Atlanta Barbecue Store Classics Cook School will be the weekend before, which I think is January 14th, I think was the date. I don't remember. It's going to happen in January. We're nailing down a place. Hopefully within the next week or so, we will have a place. We've got the teams lined up and the date lined up, the location lined up, so you can go ahead and sign up for it. But anyway, other than that, I hope you'll have a wonderful night, wonderful week, and we will see you next week on Chewin the BBQ Fat. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.